invited guests, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My job here is very simple, to welcome you and to declare this conference open. I am sure that many of you who came particularly from the southern part of the country, you were initially apprehensive when you heard that you were coming to Jos. But you have come, you have seen, you have confirmed, you have conquered, and now I am sure in the next 2 days you will be conquered by the sheer beauty and allure of this wonderful state. I know for many of you, the change of weather alone is welcoming. And I assure you that there is a lot to savour here. Exactly 3 weeks ago, I believe, we hosted the conference of the Nigerian Bar Association on the section of legal practice. It was a much larger gathering than this, close to 1,000 lawyers converged here. And just to let you know that contrary to what you hear in the news, Jos is safe. As a matter of fact, if you were left alone to book hotels, you may arrive Jos and find that you have no space to sleep, because the room occupation rate of hotels in Jos is one of the highest in the country. I therefore want to encourage you to savour the beauty, savour the cuisine, enjoy the hospitality of the people, and when you do live here, I want to charge you to be an ambassador of this state. Go tell the story in every nook and cranny of this country that Plateau is a welcoming state and is ready for business. Let me also congratulate my brother Governor for the developmental strides. I passed through Latvia just on Saturday, and I could see a lot of things that are coming up. To imagine, here was just a local government out of Plateau State, and is coming up to really become a state capital worthy of admiration. I want to appreciate you. We will continue to work together as brothers, even though we were Benue Plateau, now Plateau, Nasarawa, Benue. I'm sure we still have a lot to do together for the progress and development of our states and the prosperity of our people. A lot has already been said about the place of state electoral commissions in Nigeria's electoral trajectory. I don't want to repeat all that has been said, but I think, starting from Professor Sam Engr, laying the truth very clear, when he also touched about the institutional inefficiencies even in INEC, I think we have started the conversation on a note of sincerity and honesty. That is what we need. And I like to posit that the whole challenge of national development, the development of institutions, boils down to leadership. When the leadership decides that things will be done well, they will be done well. If you read the book, Why Nations Fail, you're going to find that one cardinal truth in that book is that nations fail when leaders are without conscience. When leaders are without conscience, things will go haywire. We are talking today about developments in the Middle East. They are not democracies so-called, but they are making progress. And why so? It is because because they have leaders that have conscience, leaders that are passionate about their people, leaders that are determined to change the course of history. And I think the conversation for us should start not with INEC or state electoral commissions. Perhaps the conversation should even begin with the process of leadership recruitment in our country. We must come up with a strategy that allows us to be able to decide people that really truly have the people at heart. Bad governance is not just about retrogression in democracy. Even development and wastage of funds is a consequence of bad leadership. When you conduct an election costing billions of naira and there is no semblance of fairness, you have only succeeded in throwing resources to the bottom. And like I was sharing with Dr. Sule, I was privileged to be a local government chairman, and I can beat my chest that at the time I contested local government election, there was a semblance of fairness. Going forward, we have 2 cycles of election, local government elections before I came on board, and they were nothing but distasteful. They had nothing whatsoever to show about democracy. The first one in 2018, like I said, the Governor Sule, before the results came in, the candidates were sworn in. In 2021, we took another plunge downwards, where the main opposition party was officially outlawed from participation. Unfortunately, the judiciary was a partner in that process. That's why whether you look at the judiciary, the legislature, the executive, everything boils down to leadership with a conscience. And for me, the time has come, and I think the time is now, when we must seize our destiny in our hands and say enough is enough. We have wasted too much resources doing things that are not needful. And so when we came on board and we decided to conduct a local government election, I want to admit that it was not perfect. But I want to state with every confidence that we raised the bar. If we didn't raise the bar, the opposition party would not have won the most coveted seat in my own local government as a councillor. And today, the APC councillor in Plateau, where I come from, is an APC councillor.
That's why I did not want you to be here before me. I decided to come to be the one that I will receive you, because I have received enough reception and the wonderful hospitality in line with what happens on the Plateau. I want to also commend you, just like the guest speaker, about all the infrastructural development that I have seen myself that you are doing, and especially the work you are doing for security in this state. I like your idea of going to the point where these incidences are happening, for people to say you are there with them and you believe in them, and with that, by the grace of God, the issue of insecurity on the Plateau will come to an end by God's grace. I look at the objectives of this conference, and I saw them when they listed to reaffirm the importance of the electoral responsibilities of the State Independent Electoral Commission, to x-ray all the challenges, to have on the necessity actually for electoral reforms. When I listened to the last 2 speakers, the guest speaker, as well as the INEC chairman's representative. I added another thing that you are getting today without you knowing. You've got people who look at you directly in the face and tell you the truth as it is. And I think that's what Nigeria needs right now. We need people to look at us directly in the face and tell us the truth, the way it is, and it is up to us to take it or to leave it. And I think by the grace of God, I want you to take it. Because all what our chairman of the forum has listed, I want to tell you that they have been very frank and straightforward. He says something that I quote. He says, SIEC, as the state independent election commissions are probably misunderstood, disregarded, criticized, and hunted. And let me answer that they are also not trusted. In addition of that, they are to a certain extent hated by some people. These are the realities of ground. But then we look back at it and say, is it really their fault? The answer is, in most cases from my experience, I have been a governor for 6 years now. I know the challenges that they face has been interference, and underfunded. These three major challenges that the state independent election commissions are facing will not make them to do any better. So until we are able to handle these issues as they are, we'll continue to deceive ourselves. And I know we are speaking. When you mention that the challenges they face, unfortunately, the INEC itself is facing. So, who actually is responsible for this? It's really the people. I remember when I first came, I came with this American mentality that, what, in Nasarawa we are going to have free and fair elections at the local government. And I called my chairman and told him, I said, Chairman, let me tell you, let us go and have free and fair elections. Whoever wins, wins. I know we will win some and they will also win some. So let's go ahead and do that. I received over 10 different visitors from the party leadership to different other stakeholders. I say, this is the way it happens in every state. Why do you want to be different? Don't you want some level of control? And so it goes back to you. The guest speaker, when you say the whole idea comes to control. When people talk about governors wanting to sit on the local government funds, sometimes some of us laugh. Because the local government don't even have sufficient funds for anybody to sit on. Constantly they are looking for additional funds from the state. So the issue goes back, as you rightly mentioned, it is control. And it is people who actually want this control that are saying this. And you see, control does not build our democracy. Control does not bring about development. What brings about is the people who are willing to serve, the leaders who are willing to serve the people with the fear of God, with a vision, with responsibilities that they know they have taken between them and the people. Once we take that, then truly speaking, Nigerians will care less if we have true elections at the local government or not. But once we have challenges from the federal level all the way to the local level, then people actually go and get disgruntled. And since they cannot go to Abuja to show you INEC, they are disgruntled and they take it on our local state INEC. And this is what is really happening. I'm happy you mentioned it by yourself, that while the result of Edo State was already on the way, an announcement was made of the election winner at the national level, not at the state level. And so, my brother, the governor, was telling me a story. People who are going to check and make sure whether that story is correct. That it is something that happened in Plateau. And it was something in nearly every state. I remember in the census state in the year 2010, while the elections were ongoing, at the middle of the day, the results were announced. And these are the kinds of things that are happening. And so I was saying to myself, why do I have to come into a conference people who are just going to discuss this kind of thing. So until we are sure of yourself, until we are determined, and I do agree with you 100% that abolition of the state island is not a solution, and we are not going to actually support that. Because the same problem we face is the same problem we face. Even if you send this as their assignment, while to the federal island, you are having the same problem. And at the end of the day, you are going to select, you are not going to bring some people from heaven. You are going to select the same people who are going to conduct this election in the state. And with a state government system. And those are the kinds of problems that we are facing. So I think it's better we look at the way, I hope at the end of the day you will come with solutions. And I bet you there are so many governors that will be more than happy to be part of that solution that you will bring up. I urge you, and I promise you that I know, my dear brother, the governor of Plateau will be one of them, and believe me, I will be one of them. We will support you with whatever you think, it is going to be the right solution that will go. You want to get your funding directly, as you have mentioned, the direct deduction. I will offer Nasarawa State for the direct deduction first. If you want to do that, give it and then we will go ahead.